Oh, goodness. Welcome to the Pride of Detroit PODcast. PrideOfDetroit.com. Pride of Detroit on Twitter. Pride of Detroit on Facebook. Oh, my God. We're in hell. We're in hell. The only demons are here. The hell is called Earth. And the medium is Lions football. We're not going to self-flagellate too much because, what can I say? We do this. We make our own bed in this. We're here to cover the Lions. And I don't think I deserve to grouse. I don't deserve a lot of things in life. I don't know if I deserve or do not deserve probably the weirdest field goal I've ever seen on basically a prayer and then another prayer to go in. And then somehow that changes the entire narrative of the game because of a lucky damn bounce. But I am Chris Perfett, the adequate host, the terrified adequate host at Chris Perfett on Twitter, PERFETT. Jeremy Reisman, the fearless leader at Detroit Online, back from the massacre itself.
Just living in hell and being poked by the devil himself, Justin Tucker.
He doesn't look that devilish.
He is an absolute demon. I hate him.
We're going to need a third opinion, so let's bring in Ryan Matthews. At Ryan_POD. Ryan, Rock as the rock god and Rock being the tool of the devil. Can we get the ruling on Justin Tucker?
Yeah, no, Justin Tucker is bad, but he's bad because he missed his first field goal from 49 yards.
What did that do, Ryan? Why is that statistically important at all, other than probably made that last field goal not count?
$20 free bet. It is what it is, but is it not insane that on the same day that Justin Tucker kicks a 66-yard field goal, the longest in NFL history, and it goes off the freaking crossbar and goes in, that Matt Prater also attempts the longest field goal in NFL history from 68 yards, and it's returned 109 yards for a touchdown by Jamal Agnew.
Still not as impressive as the kick six. Close, though.
Pain is what is in store for everybody.
I said we're in hell. I said we're in hell. Ryan and I tried to get out the positives from this game in the post-game show. We'll probably rebound to a few of those here now that Jeremy's here, and Ryan and I are predicting that Jeremy's going to be the cold water on whatever we've got. But we start with the end of that game, and we start with Jeremy, I hate doing this because, number one, you know me, I hate talking about officiating. I don't subscribe to all these curses that other Lions fans do. I think this team gets as much crap thrown on it from bad officiating or weird snafus as some other teams out there. It's just that we, maybe a little bit more, but it's not anything significant that I can even fight against. And the other thing I hate doing is breaking down getting caught in the trap of two final drives. But you know what? This is a special hellish day, so let's just slam right into those sand traps.
Yeah, I mean, listen, let's just, I say let's get the delay game out of the way right off the top, just so that we can stop talking about it. Because
so for those who don't know, should I give the background?
If you want, I have to imagine everyone listening knows what happened.
Just in case you were watching and didn't catch it though, and you're wondering what the hell they're talking delay a game. So was it on the 4th and 19 throw?
Nope.
No.
It was after they spiked it. It was the throwaway.
It was the throwaway. What?
Yes. It was the throwaway after the spike.
This is why I need to keep this straight, because my head won't keep it straight. After the spike, it looked like the clock went down to 0, and they were able to get off a play with 2 seconds after it hit 0. It wasn't called as a delay of game.
And
this has now sent all Lions fans into hell.
Yeah. Whatever. So the situation there is, if that is actually a delay of game, it moves the field goal back 5 yards. They probably don't even attempt a 72-yarder, and Justin Tucker certainly doesn't make a 72-yarder. The key things to keep in mind here are that the clock that you see on the TV is not the same one that the officials are dealing with. The officials also give a little bit of leeway, whereas as soon as they see it turn to 0, they can, the time it takes for them to look at 0 and look at the play, you get that kind of freebie. But whatever, maybe it was a bad call, maybe it wasn't. maybe the Lions get an apology from the league. Maybe they don't. It sucks. It feels unfortunate. We all want officiating to be better, and we're all mad about it. But the Lions fucked up a lot in the last 2 minutes of that game, and a lot of it was self-inflicted.
I know. I guess my problem is that I don't want to like brush it off as saying, oh, the Lions had other chances to ice the game up. But like, I think my problem, Ryan, we were talking about this. It just feels like that was more of CBS's clock being wrong. And
Yeah,
like I saw it like jumping multiple times. Like they couldn't get on the CBS's clock, they couldn't actually get the time right on several other downs.
Yeah, on CBS's overlay, there were some problems with the clock at the end of the half. The first half when the Lions were doing some plays where Jamal Williams got some touches and ran off a few seconds, but then the seconds were given back to it. So I don't think the CBS's clock operator was making their money today by any means. But I'm with Jeremy. From at least one standpoint, I'm with him in the sense that we're not gonna take the Lions off the hook for a 66-yard field goal getting converted because of a delay of game that didn't get called. I'm not
even sure how much we can put them on the hook. This is a completely different game if that bounce off the crossbar goes just
that's the other
one
point to
angle
make,
wrong.
is that the Lions played well enough where it took a 66-yard field goal.
It took the longest field goal in NFL history to beat the Detroit
That also
Lions.
had a 1 in 5,000 chance to bounce the right way to go in on a bank shot.
But I guess my point is, if you're griping about one aspect of that game, if you're griping about the officiating in that game, there are other things that you can gripe about. Because you're right. Like we should get into the second. I think in the second segment we'll get into the positives, because I have a lot of positives to come from this game. I was actually.
Good.
I mean, this was a great second half. It was probably the best second half we've seen I would say of the team to date, and it included a lot of improvements we were waiting on. But I just submitted an article on it. The coaching decisions at the end of the game deserve just as much scrutiny as the refereeing. And to me, that delay of game would have been a gift, right? It would have been a gift. The Lions didn't earn it. The Ravens did, probably, but in the end, it was not something the Lions did to earn that. They made some mistakes to earn themselves that loss, like go into a shell on offense when you had that game on the line. Your offense was moving the entire second half. You move all the way down the field to get into field goal range, and you turtle. You decide, Ravens got 2 timeouts. We've got 3 plays. Let's milk clock. Let's milk the timeouts. Let's make it so we have to get Lamar Jackson. We're putting the ball game in Lamar Jackson and Justin Tucker's hands, which 2 very dangerous people to put the game on the line. Then you go on defense. You get a sack on first down. Awesome. 4-man rush. Great. Second down, you get another pass rush with that 4-man rush. Force an incomplete pass. Third down, another sack with the 4-man rush. Then what do? You call a timeout. You bled the Ravens timeouts on purpose for this reason, so that they would have to be hurried. They wouldn't have, they couldn't stop the clock unless they went out of bounds or spiked the ball. And you call a timeout, and Lamar Jackson calls it a gift from God after the game, because that dude was running for his freaking life. He was sacked twice, and he was facing a 4th and 19. You had all the reason to keep that clock running and screw Lamar Jackson. And he says, we changed the play after that timeout. I got a breath of fresh air. What are you doing?
Would you say that changed the momentum of that drive, Jeremy?
No, I wouldn't. I specifically avoided the word momentum. It wasn't momentum. It was the fact that you had a quarterback who had just gotten hit on 3 plays in a row. He's tired as hell.
So keep that rolling instead of calling a timeout?
Yeah, it's not, well, okay. If we're going to talk about words, then save it for another time. And then the last one is, you rush for 4 on first down. You rush 4 on second down. You rush 4 on third down. You rush 3 on fourth down. What are you doing? Every single coach gets burned by the 3-man rush. 4th and 19.
We need to bring it back. Jeremy's all over the place.
I need to finish this point. I need to finish this point. When your defensive line is killing them. Your defensive line is killing them, and you say, no, let's put the game on Will Harris's frickin' hands. And what does he do? Oh, Dan Campbell says, "Oh, we had the right play call. It was a miscommunication." Why do you think it was a miscommunication? Is it because your secondary sucks right now? Is it because you have, fourth stringers out there?
Careful. You're lumping in AJ Parker with the secondary. Don't be doing that.
Now, I need to slow it down. I need to slow it down because each piece deserves some scrutiny.
Go for it.
Yes, Ryan, we were talking about it, and the offense on that final drive, like, and it sucks because literally, like, the set before that, I'm praising Anthony Lynn calling basically a great, ball game for that final drive, and then instead you get within field goal range for Ryan Santoso, and like, the problem is like when the other team knows you're setting up for a field goal, they know you're just running it, which means they can bring the house on the run every time.
Mm-hmm.
They lost 2 yards.
Yeah,
in 3 plays.
I had issues with that. I thought that on third down, if they wanted to play the clock game, they got to third down, take a shot. If you get a first down, that wins you the game. If you get a touchdown, that wins you the game. Like, there was no reason I think for the Lions to get into a pissing match with Superman right there. There was no reason for them to spit into the wind. There was no reason for them to tug on Lamar Jackson's cape. With all that being said, I thought that the Lions defense for 3 quarters played way above their pay grade.
100%.
And I think it had everything to do with the coaching staff. I think it had everything to do with Aaron Glenn. I think it had everything to do with the secondary. We'll get into all of that in a minute. But to Jeremy's second point, okay, and that was the point about was that about the pass rush, or was that about the timeout? Okay,
about the timeout
I'm honestly 50-50 on it. Because if there's something that Dan Campbell saw that he didn't like, I think he's well within his right to call a timeout. It's 4th and 19. Okay, 4th and 19. We're talking about the probability of them converting a 4th and 19. Now, if you want to make the case that you had momentum on their side,
I want to make the case that Lamar Jackson made. He specifically said.
But I'm saying that if there is something that Dan Campbell, or if there is something that the coordinator saw that they wanted to say, hey, look, we're not in the right look for this, I'm honestly, I think that's a little nitpicky on the timeout. I understand that Lamar Jackson thinks it was a quote unquote gift from God. Okay. Well, maybe he should get vaccinated if he wants a gift from God. Okay. But what I'm saying is, I think the timeout is kind of negligible. Like, it's 4th and 19. Put your team in the best position to make a play and make a stop. Which takes you to the third point. They should not have called off the dogs. Romeo Okwara that guy is a dude.
Yep.
And we can talk about the positives from this game in the second segment. But I'm in agreement with you too, Jeremy. Like, if you are generating a rush, if you're generating a push with 4 guys, and it's 4th and 19, and Lamar Jackson is running for his life, then why aren't you doing the same thing on 4th down? It worked downs 1 through 3, and it worked for pretty much 3 quarters of the game. Why would you call him off? So I think you're.
And if,
like
if you call a timeout to change it to a 3-man rush,
2 for 3 today.
I put more on the offense than I do on the defense, just because, like, I get it. It's bad that you gave him the timeout. It's bad that Sammy Watkins got free to do what he did there. But I just have more of a problem that, in addition to settling for the field goal on the offense, you gave a full minute for Lamar Jackson to work with. And that's the part I really can't countenance too much. Like, that's why I go for the conversion. I understand Jared Goff looks really bad in this game. Like, I'm not happy with what I saw out of Jared Goff. But that was more on pressure than on him throwing any kind of interceptions. Maybe I'm terrified of an interception late that game, but at the same time, better to live and love and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You go for that first down. That's all. Even if you're going to set up for the field goal, at least bleed more time off the clock. That first down marker is right there.
Yeah, I mean, you can't
like you had options. You just had to convert. And again, like the Ravens defense knew what you were doing. They called you twice on your bluff. On running the ball. They called twice and they stuffed you twice. They knew exactly what you were trying to do, that you were just setting up for a field goal and getting a little timid near at the end. And hey, congrats to Ryan Santoso. 35 yards is apparently a professional career long for him.
It's just, to me, when you know that Justin Tucker is on that opposite sideline, you know Lamar Jackson only needs to pick up like 30 yards. And I don't care how good your defense was playing in that second half, and it was playing pretty damn good. You do not want to give Lamar Jackson a full minute. That's a ton of time in today's NFL. We just got done with an era of Matthew Stafford showing that sometimes 30 seconds is too much for a good quarterback. And they have Justin Tucker, which means they barely need to cross the 50-yard line to get in field goal position. And you rolled those dice. And it came up snake eyes, and yes, it was all improbable. Yes, they did everything right until that 4th and 19 play, but they still rolled the dice, and it's the snake eyes, and it was and it's partially their fault. They could have put the game away. It's also that the offense was just rolling. That drive, that half, everything was working for that offense in that half, and they decided to hit the brakes on their own.
Yeah, but Jeremy, like, you're making all the arguments for momentum right now, and like fundamentally you don't agree with that, because what I'm saying is, look at the first half. No points.
Yeah.
The Lions offense was atrocious.
It
was terrible.
It was momentum.
It was dude.
They finally gave the ball to DeAndre Swift in the passing game. Like, that worked.
I'm going to again put this here in that we're not. I don't like, maybe we're squelching on them for going conservative on the field goal, but if Justin Tucker doesn't hit a 1 in 5,000 shot, I don't think we're talking like this. Like, maybe we are because we're nitpicky. Everyone else certainly
of course not. I mean, that's
it's basically the Lions held on, and like, yeah, but again, like,
I'm not upset that the Lions lost. I'm
not either. I'm just more upset that it is once again turned into like nitpicky on the final drives, and also, hey, this franchise is just cursed. Oh my God, the curse. This only happens to the Lions. This only happens to the Lions.
Yeah, but I think there's some credence to being nitpicky with a first-time head coach. And sure. I know, like, he was on an interim basis in Miami, okay, but whatever. But, like, this is his first time. He has the reins. He was chosen for this job. I think there's some good things that we should mention.
Sure.
I loved him challenging the Khalif Raymond catch for that should have been a first down. Yeah. Like, that was at the end of the half.
Sure.
There were timeouts that you weren't going to use. Yep. It was worth a challenge. It was an opportunity for the Lions to put their first points on the board.
Hold on to that, because I think I want to take a break, and I want to talk a lot of the good, because I feel like there is a lot of good. Yeah. And that's again, my frustration is I don't want to break this game just down to its final 2 drives, even though these drives deserve a lot of scrutiny, because this is where the game kind of got lost in a lot of ways. And we're back here again. Lions are 0-3. We're talking about curses. We're talking about officiating. We're talking about Justin Tucker. The 3 evils rising up, but we'll take a step back from the brink, revitalize, put some positivity in there if you want it, on the Pride of Detroit PODcast, coming up right next.
Kyle, aka
Everyone's
Baltimore
mad.
Beatdown, has shown up in the chat.
Yeah, he rated us during the post game.
No. Here's the thing about Kyle. If you're a Ravens fan, you should be embarrassed by the way that your team played today.
Ravens are like a half a play from 0-3. Can we talk about that?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
If the Chiefs don't,
how about your first
fumble,
round pick? Yeah, how about your first round pick, Marquise Hollywood Brown, having an incurable case of the dropsies?
That was kind of unbelievable.
Not just him too. Sorry, I'm blanking on names because Mark Andrews had several drops in this game as well. Like, he found his groove later on, but
yeah. Jeremy, if I tell you that Lamar Jackson's stat line was 16 of 31 for 287, a touchdown, an interception, and 4 sacks, would you say that the Lions had a chance of winning this game?
Yes.
Just above 50% completion percentage, a turnover, and 4 sacks.
Plus,
Kyle,
And
we
they
love you.
held-
This is how we do things, though. We always fight.
And they held them to 22. Hold on. What?
This is
Even
Detroit.
on the preview podcast on First Bite, I thought the Ravens were going to run all over the Lions. Why did they only run the ball 22 times?
Lions were stopping them.
I think what happened is, and we can maybe
Do
talk about this.
better.
I think we talked about this on the post game, but again, like Lions ran 27 times. Like could have probably run more if they. But again, you get down a little bit, and the inclination to start throwing again comes back.
I don't have a problem at all with how the Lions kind of moved away from the run game a little bit in the second half, and that's when they saw success. They weren't as successful on the ground in the second half, and it worked better, which kind of always goes to prove the things we were saying during the entire Matt Patricia era, which was establishing the run don't mean shit in today's NFL. Lions are running the ball
It worked
great in the
pretty
first
well for
half.
them in the red zone. It worked for them in the red zone, though.
Establishing the run doesn't mean anything if you don't have a defense to sit back on,
Sure.
as evidenced by the last drive. The Lions relied on their run game to be safe and conservative, and their defense didn't get them anywhere. But the only thing that I want to say was that if you would have told me that the Ravens were only going to run the ball 22 times in this game, and they're going to run for 117 yards or 116 yards, I would have told you the Lions defense played magnificent. And I think that large in part, aside from a couple of blown coverages where they were kind of gifted some drops, I thought the Lions defense played really freaking good. They had their first scoreless quarter of the season in the first quarter. I mean, Romeo Okwara is a dude. And I know I mentioned that in the first segment, but like that's a Dan Campbell guy right there. Like that guy doesn't quit ever. Like there's no reason why he should be agile enough to keep up with Lamar Jackson and chasing him all over the field. That guy had a hell of a game. His PFF score should definitely represent that. If it doesn't, I'll be upset. I'll tag people.
Congratulations to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, or should I say all apologies to them. You will be finishing below 500. I don't make the rules, man.
Matthew Stafford can't win big games, man.
Can't win big games.
Nope.
His record, his winning record is all against teams under 500. Sorry to the reigning Super Bowl champion. You're going to be finishing with a losing record this year. Off topic of it, can we talk about how Justin Fields took 9 sacks?
Man,
The great unveiling of Chicago's great hero.
I mean, here's a fun stat from that game. Justin Fields' net passing yards. You want to guess?
Oh my God!
So net passing
okay,
yards
hold on.
is.
Let me actually guess.
I'm just telling you in case you don't know what net passing yards are. It's
Okay.
passing yards
Takes the sacks away,
minus
right?
sack yards.
I'm gonna say it's got to be close to 0 because he had something like 68. He had like something like 67.
Okay, you're looking at the stats,
yards.
you
No,
liar.
I'm not.
Yes,
I'm
you
not.
absolutely are. He has...
I remembered had 9 divisible 6 7. I know I had this in my head, Jeremy. Sometimes I can remember things. I know
Are
I'm
you
not
calling
good
from
at
a
them.
walkie-talkie?
What?
He had 1 yard. He had 1 yard. One
Yes.
net yard because he
Then
had
what he
68
did.
passing yards and 67 sack yards.
Hey, that's more net yards than Jared Goff had at halftime.
Is it? Was he in the negative?
Yeah, Jared Goff had
Yeah.
-2 passing yards.
Yeah, those two sacks were backbreakers.
Pretty good. Pretty good. Yeah, so the Bears are horrible. We get them next. So, defense
And
playing better. Justin Fields.
Khalil Mack.
Mack.
Is that a
Did he
serious
return?
injury?
I don't know. Did he return in that game?
Now, if we do beat them,
don't
though,
know.
it probably means of midseason firing of Matt Nagy, which I'm not sure I want. I want them to keep Matt Nagy.
I mean, it's just going to happen, though.
Bears
I don't
writers
know.
have all seamlessly transitioned to we want Fields. Fields sucks. Fire Nagy. Fire Nagy.
Yep.
Fire Nagy.
Yep.
I
No
don't know.
lag time whatsoever.
I don't know if I've been more excited for a Lions game than this upcoming game against the Bears. I don't know if I've been more excited for a Lions game. Like I'm not. This is not hyperbole or an exaggeration, but I don't know if I've been this excited in 5 years for a Lions game.
That is hyperbole. That's
I think it's going to go back
bias.
to Andy Dalton. I think he's going to try to put that genie back.
If he's
in the
healthy.
bottle.
I mean, he has to be healthy enough, right? Like I saw differing reports. Like, He might be out a couple more weeks. Oh, they didn't put him on IR because they're optimistic he might play next week. We'll see, but I think we've found the common denominator in why the Bears' offense is so bad, and it's Matt Nagy. Like,
yeah, I agree.
what excuses do they have? Like, I guess maybe offensive line, but they got a couple really good running backs. They've got finally a couple good receivers too. Like, you're out of excuses, Matt Nagy. A dynamic quarterback. Yeah. I know he's young, but there are some dynamic quarterbacks doing some stuff so far in the league. So, rookie quarterbacks, I should say. So,
Bears have a win. Dial it back. Bears have a win against the Bengals.
Bengals, didn't they just beat the Steelers today? That game.
Yeah, because Ben Roethlisberger looks legitimately washed.
Well,
he should have retired at halftime.
He tore apart our secondary in the preseason.
Oh, cool. The preseason.
Yeah, you know who didn't tear apart the secondary today? Lamar Jackson. So
he found a lot of wide open receivers.
16 of 31. Bad.
Yeah.
He was a bad passer today.
He still had 9.3 yards per attempt. That's pretty good, actually.
Compared to Jared Goff,
who had 7.2.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying
that's 2
like
yards. Oh, you're saying if that's the comparison? No, 9.3 is actually a really good number.
Are we really like if you're even in the ballpark of being compared to Jared Goff, you're a bad quarterback?
Here's my issue with the Lions defense, and I know I should probably save it for the actual podcast, is they gave up big play after big play after big play after big play, and it would have been a lot worse if Marquise Brown didn't have dropsies. But the front seven was great. Fantastic.
Yeah. Like
as someone I know,
the secondary should be bad.
Yeah, I know.
They should be bad.
Yeah, and they are.
How many undrafted players do they have playing in the secondary right now? Like getting like meaningful and like consistent work. Bobby Price,
AJ Parker,
Jerry Jacobs, what a bad play today.
That was a bummer.
Stock down, Jerry Jacobs.
That was a bummer.
That could have changed the game.
It probably.
I think if you're waiting for, we had a few people in our post game saying like, hey, can the NFL overturn this game? No, they can't. Like, you're waiting for. Well, we've done this before, guys. Like, I don't.
Why do you want the NFL to overturn this game? Why would you want them to overturn this game?
We're 0-3. We're in a great draft spot, man. You refund my channel points and give me a list cast of your top 5 Justin Tucker field goals.
Okay,
you coward.
The 49-yarder he missed 5 times. There you go. There's your list cast. Congratulations.
His first extra point, like, just narrowly made it inside the left, left post too.
A little bit for like the entire day. That's when I was like watching that final one. I was shocked as it goes straight down the middle. I'm like, he kind of hooked what he had. The luck to have that thing go inside is insane. I can't say anything else about it.
It was ridiculous.
I'll infiltrate your Discord. You're already in my Discord. What can I say? You've the call's already coming from inside the house. What else is there to discuss?
Anything interesting else in week 3 that was notable?
Yeah. The Raiders took it all the way down to 1 second left in overtime, and they're about to kick a field goal to win 31-28.
I hope they miss it. Ties are the best.
I hope they do too, but I also kind of hope they don't because I have Daniel Carlson in fantasy.
I don't know who that is. I'm guessing.
So hey, the Chiefs have a losing record.
Yeah, they do.
And the Giants lost the Falcons.
And the Ravens are trying to dance. Oh, we beat the Chiefs. They don't even have a winning record. Who cares?
Yeah, what's Lamar Jackson's record against teams above 500? Let's find that out.
I figured Jeremy would be in here doing backflips for Brandon Staley winning a game against the Chiefs.
I mean,
it wasn't a loss, and we did touch on it, but I do
like
feel
I'm not doing
good
backflips about Stafford right now. Like, of course he's 3-0. Why wouldn't he be?
But he does everything but win, Jeremy. That's what I've been told all the time. He does everything but win.
It took everything in me to not tweet. This is what happens when Tom Brady plays a competent defense and a better quarterback.
Well, I already tweeted out that Tampa Bay is going to go under 500 now.
Yeah, that won't happen because they play in the NFC South.
Yeah, that's true.
Ooh, Joe Lombardi beat the Chiefs. Good call, chat. That's
Jamal Agnew.
Chiefs
Can
ain't
we?
shit anymore.
Can we? I can't even hate that Jamal Agnew did what he did.
I still haven't seen the play.
It's pretty good. I also put that on the Cardinals because you made Matt Prater kick a 70+ field goal.
It was a 68-yard field goal,
68.
and it had a chance. Like it was just short, obviously.
Yeah, so was the Alabama kicker in the Iron Bowl.
Would you have said that Matt Prater's kick would have been good from 66?
Well, he made one longer last week. He made one longer last week. Yeah. So yeah, it would have been.
You know, it's looking pretty good. My Denver Broncos Super Bowl bet, baby, 3-0. Let's
66
go.
is important because the Lions also lost on a Hail Mary of 66 yards, and 66 is 1/6 short of the number of the devil. Stay woke.
And if you add Justin Tucker's 9 to the 6 and
Turn
6
it upside
and turn it
down.
upside down.
Yep. Hail Satan.
I'm telling you, he's the fucking devil.
I think it's more fun if we call Justin Tucker the Antichrist.
Why is that?
I don't know. I like Justin Tucker because as the devil, picturing him as the devil gives him horns and a pitchfork. If he's the Antichrist, then he can just be the Ravens field goal kicker wearing the number 9.
What's the name of that kid from the movie about the Antichrist? I forget. Like
Damien?
classic.
I don't know. Damien
yes.
is the son of the devil, right?
Yeah, from
I don't know, he's from the one I remember is from South Park.
Oh no. Fuck. Oh, come on.
I'm just gonna say that Damien as the son of the devil is probably canon for pop culture.
Yeah.
Hell references.
Yeah. Chat says The Omen.
The Omen, that's what's the name of the kid from The Omen?
Oh, probably Damien.
Yeah, it was Damien Thorne. Yeah.
Every rose has its thorn. See, now you can even lump them into it. They're part of the plan too. Bon Jovi.
What?
God.
Isn't that Bon Jovi? Or is that Guns N' Roses?
It's Guns N' Roses, and
That's
I
not
don't
Guns N'
understand
Wait,
why
no.
that-
Every rose has its thorns is not Guns as Roses. That's Whitesnake.
No, so
It's either Whitesnake or it's Scorpion.
No, it's poison.
It's poison.
Who gives a
Cool.
shit? All those 80s rock
Yeah.
bands
Who
are
gives a
horrible.
shit about hair metal? Who gives a shit about hair metal? Fuck you guys. You killed metal.
I was born in
Poison,
1991.
Scorpion, Guns N' Roses. You all fucking killed metal. Fuck all of you.
Do you know what metal is? Limp Bizkit. That's metal, baby.
All right.
I know plenty of shit outside the NFL. It just happens to be. Oh, it's sucking.
I timed
Why are
it.
you timing
I timed him
Kyle?
out. I
Why are
timed
you
him out.
timing out, Kyle?
I'm timing out for 10 minutes. I'm sorry. Executive decision. Listen,
Oh, dude,
if you want
just ban him.
80s hair band mix in with your Lions talk, Jeff Risden's podcast is over there. And not
Yeah,
it's
I
not-
reject.
it's not-
I
I'm not-
reject old people shit.
I'm not calling shots. It's just he's got a different preference. We're not all about that life.
And listen. You want to talk to me about Ronnie James Dio? I'll talk to you about Ronnie James Dio. I'm not talking to you about Poison or Scorpion.
Yeah, hey, keep it on. Rolling to the chat. Air raid. Urban assault vehicle.
What?
Kyle just DM'd me on Twitter. Let's see what it said. Ready? Let me in.
All right. Well, I do have to work tonight, so we should get back to this
Yeah, let's do segment 2.
because I have to edit.
What are we
all
talking
this
about?
too.
The Lions game?
Yeah,
I guess.
the Lions game that just happened like 3 hours ago.
Oh, okay.
The Raiders are not good. You guys stop that. I don't care that they're 3-0. It just means at some point that's going to be evened out by 3 losses. That's how the Raiders work. Yin and yang. Black and white, just like their colors. Don't tell me silver's in there because shut the fuck up. Welcome back to the Pride of Detroit PODcast. Let's put a football game is 60 minutes, not just the final couple of minutes there. So we are going to endeavor to talk about the rest of the game because I think that deserves attention. Ryan, I know, thinks that deserves attention. I think Jeremy also believes in it. So we're going to try to take the bird's eye view and then slaughter that bird. Besides what happened at the end of this game on a meltdown, and the appropriate parties deserve the criticism that they will receive for the end of this game and the meltdown. Besides that and a couple of sticking points, I think there was a lot of positives from this game. And I know I'm going to sound like a psychotic fan or something, but I really think there were positives from this game.
Yeah, and to me, like
the fact that the Baltimore Ravens got out of this game with just 16 points before the Tucker field goal. That's a huge dub.
Yeah, no question.
Go on, Jeremy.
Well,
yeah,
I was just gonna say, like,
keep scratching the surface.
The positives, like, I think a lot of people will be like, oh, you guys are, it's all about, just like moral victory. Why are you guys taking moral victories when this team is trash? No, it's not about that. It's about showing market improvement week to week, which is what we all kind of went into the season hoping for, right? Like, we all realized it was going to be a rough season. We all realized they were going to pile up some L's, but we were just hoping that the product we see in December is much better than the product we see in September. And they're on their way because, yeah, you're right. The defense was a lot better in this game. And I continue to be, I know I just railed on the coaching staff, but overall, in terms of their game planning, in terms of their adjustments, I think the coaching staff has done an excellent job. Considering they have a secondary that's dealing with as many injuries as they are and as young as they are. Considering that they decided to let Jamie Collins go, essentially, putting in another rookie into the lineup. And they come out after that effort without Trey Flowers, another veteran, and they come out and, like you said, essentially hold the Ravens to 16 points in that game, and it wasn't perfect. The secondary still has a lot of issues. There were still way too many wide open receivers and broken coverage and things like that. But Ryan alluded to it at the front, like, the defensive line showed up today. We came into this offseason thinking this defensive line could be the strength of this team and could be really good. They were really good in this game. And it makes you think maybe it was just rust. Maybe Brockers just needed to get the rust off. Maybe Nick Williams just needed to get the rust off. Maybe the Okwara brothers just needed to team up and kick the hell out of the Ravens offensive line. And sure, they have some issues on their offensive line with Ronnie Stanley out and all that sort of stuff, but pressure all day. And not just pressure, but containment. They did such a good job containing Lamar Jackson in this game. And I know
one bad play.
Yeah, exactly. 31 yards on one play. The other 6 go for a combined 27. That's fantastic. You hold the Ravens to 116 yards in one game rushing. I'm sure you guys have already heard the stat, like 41 straight games where they're over 100. 116 is a phenomenal job by that defense. And so I was really proud of their effort. I was really proud of just seeing the defense improve because that's what we're looking for. We're looking for week-to-week improvement. The Lions have 2 of their top veterans out in this game, and they look better than ever. That's good coaching. That gets me excited. That gets me fired up.
That's a perfect segue into my point, which I wanted to make sure that we highlighted the fact that one of the highest paid Lions on the roster, Trey Flowers, did not play.
Yep.
Jamie Collins did not play. If you're telling any Lions fan that 2 of the perceived top players on the defense heading into the season weren't playing in this game, people would be shaking in their boots, man. Like, the Lions, it's the coaching staff, it's coaching up the young players. AJ Parker looks like he can be a guy in this league. I mean, not only in coverage, but he's coming up. He's he's making plays in run defense.
He's great in run
There was
defense.
a play where there was a play where he almost sacked Lamar Jackson and affected him just enough so that he could, affect his pass that he threw to Mark Andrews that was off target in the end zone. Like, this is the thing that you want to see week to week, is you want to see players making contributions who will stick around and play a factor in this team's
Future
building of something. You know what I mean? And you have that. And I'm very encouraged by the way the defense played. I want to see if Chris has anything to add about the defense before we move on to the offense.
No, I was going to. I thought there was pretty much about it for for the defense.
The one-
I again want to stress that the Lions are playing with 2 undrafted free agent rookies in their corners, Bobby Price and AJ Parker. And I don't know if they're going to continue to play like that, but holy God, like, you're getting production out of that. Out of people who were picked out of the bargain bin, who had no one calling them on it from Cleveland. Like,
I do have 2 things I want to mention. One is that this is the first game we finally saw the Lions defensive line be able to tee off, right? The last 2 games, they've just been getting into 3rd and 2s, or not even getting into 3rd down, not being able to just know, like, hey, we can just rush the passer here because they're not going to run the ball. And what happened? That last drive is what this defense is capable of. They rushed 4 for those first 3 plays, got someone home every single time, because they can pass rush, they can pin their ears back, and that's what the Lions need to get to. And hopefully they eventually get there, because they got themselves into a lot of fortunate downs in this game, and that's why I think you saw the pass rush so much better in this game. And then the other thing I want to mention, and it's something curious because it seems to keep happening every year, but Dean Marlowe took over for Tracy Walker halfway through this game. And yeah, Tracy Walker made his way back onto the game eventually, but what's going on there, guys? I obviously the Lions are having some safety issues right now, and most people are pointing the arrow right at Will Harris, but the Lions made the decision to take Tracy Walker out of the game and maybe he's the one that messed up on the broken coverage. I don't know, and that was punishment or whatever it was. But what do you guys make of that? Like, it's another.
You talking about the play Renee?
Well, I'm just talking about the benching of Tracy Walker again. Like I feel like this happens every year. And Dean Marlowe took a spot for a good chunk of this game. And is this have we given up on Tracy Walker at this point? Like, what's going on here?
I don't know if we can say that we've given up on Tracy Walker, but I think it feels like in this defense that there's more opportunities for the player that's in Will Harris's position to shine because of the way that player plays in run support. And I think Will Harris, for all intents and purposes, has had like a decent season so far. I mean, but that's also why you're not seeing Tracy Walker, getting replaced for Dean Marlowe. Like, I mean, Will Harris isn't getting replaced for Dean Marlowe because I think Will Harris is doing a commendable job. With the Tracy Walker thing, it's going to be really interesting to dig into the film on the Duvernay touchdown, because that was a clear miscommunication by the safeties, because Mark Andrews on a post route attracts 2 players, and Amani Oruwariye is stuck trying to make up ground for a safety that should have been over the top. So there was some clear miscommunication there. I think it was Tracy Walker's side, but again, we got to look at the film to see who it was.
Yeah. One more note, and I will jump right into the offense out of this, but you guys mentioned him earlier. I think Julian Okwara needs more playing time. I'm watching a replay of his play now. We're on 2nd and 13, and he barrels over, knocks the guard on his ass. Yeah, knocks the guard on his ass and forces that crap throw from Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
Real quick,
hungry as hell.
One last thing about the edge guys, like Austin Bryan got a sack today.
Yep.
I mean, great for that guy to be healthy and be out there showing out. And also, what the hell, he's wearing number 2. That freaked me out. But oh man, I'm blanking. Charles Harris, right? Pass rusher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Harris, yeah.
Even Anzalone got involved today too.
Anzalone had a sack. Anzalone looked like, he looked better next to Derek Barnes. Overall, I want to say that the defense made an improvement. Yeah.
Now let me talk. I really want to talk about the offense.
Yeah.
Because I think it is all massively improved except for one critical spot. The offensive line is still fantastic as far as I'm concerned. Still fantastic, still held up. I do temper it in that the Ravens lost, I think, 4 of their front 7 due to COVID before this game.
Not all starters, but a lot of them.
Yeah. So it's something to keep in mind there. That said, though, the offensive line is still setting up quite a bit, and good protection for Jared Goff. And DeAndre Swift, this was probably one of the more impressive games out of DeAndre Swift. I feel like we've seen this kind of performance out of DeAndre Swift before this year so far, but over 170 yards from scrimmage, and caught everything thrown his way. And he's a versatile weapon out there. And Jamal Williams is no slouch. I think that, I don't know if that's that positive competition going on there, but both of them played like hell, and Jamal Williams fought like hell to get that touchdown. Both of them pick up a touchdown on the day, and both look fantastic. And I'm starting to see, I don't know what to read into Khalif Raymond yet, but at least like he can make those connections when it counts. The point where I am worried a little bit is Jared Goff. And again, I know I'm just praising the receivers and I'm praising the running backs for catching those, but Jared, I don't know when the Lions will draft a quarterback, but if it was someone different with this right now, you'd see just a marked improvement, because Jared Goff still, I get it. He connects for 22 out of 30 attempts. But a lot of that is some low yardage, easy to convert efficiency plays. That'll get him nice numbers on those efficiency metrics that'll come out, like CPOE and EPA. But anything else, I'm not buying into on him. And more than that, the vision that he lacks. He locked up when pressure was coming at him on both of those sacks. He saw that pressure clear as day, and rather than trying to get the ball away, he just backs up and then eats the sack. But other than Goff, everything else, I mean it though. Like that's a big but there to say that your quarterback's kind of flubbing it up here. But we kind of expected that. But everything else on this offense right now, I'd like to see more receivers involved. But like the core of what we knew this team's identity was going to be on the running backs and offensive line still looks solid.
Mostly. I think this is the worst offensive line game of the season. It wasn't bad per se, but Jonah Jackson took a couple of really bad penalties. Penei Sewell had a false start on
the same drive.
2 fourth and ones got spoiled because offensive linemen jumped. And, the Ravens throw a lot.
Are you counting Darren Fells?
Oh, well, yeah, I'm sorry. Darren Fells is one of them. You're right.
Yeah.
But either way, like, Jonah Jackson had a couple bad penalties, raced an 8-yard run, tacked on another, half a distance to the goal or whatever with the personal foul. And here's the thing, like, first half, Lions running game, great. 11 rushes, 69 yards, 6.3 yards per carry. Great. Second half, when, they need to run the ball and maybe burn some clock, 16 rushes, 24 yards, 1.5 per carry. This is my concern, is that the Lions can run the ball a little bit, but can they run the ball when they need to, when everyone on the field and in the stands knows they need to run the ball? And so far that answer is no. They failed to convert on a 4th and 1 in week 1. They didn't really get an opportunity to run the ball when everyone knew they were going to run the ball against the Packers because they were down by so much. And in the fourth quarter here, when they needed 10 yards in 3 plays and they decided to run, they go backwards 2 yards.
I think for most teams in the NFL these days, though, if you try to run, and the offense and the defense knows you're going to run, you're going to get stuffed every time. It doesn't matter who you are. So that's,
it's not
unless you're the Titans.
I'm just saying,
but that's what I feel like.
If this team wants to act like they're a top 5 rushing attack, they need to be able to do that. They need to be able to run clock and win games with their running game, because that's what good teams do. I was going to
say, or the next best thing is you need to trust yourself enough to do a play action.
Sure.
And bite them.
You're not going to get any blowback from me on that. We just talked about how I didn't agree with that strategy. The other thing I want to talk about with Jared Goff is, again, it was a tale of two halves. He was horrible in the first half. He was spooked. He was seeing ghosts. He was inaccurate. Nothing
I really have to stress those 2 sacks were backbreakers.
They were
to both those
and
drops.
They were bad.
Those were awful. He saw them coming a mile away, and anyone else would have gotten rid of the ball.
But his second half. You want to hear his second half stats?
No, I know.
Too bad. I'm going to tell you. 14 of 15 for 160 yards. 14 of 15. They found plays that work for him, and yes, a lot of them were short dump-offs, but guess what? If they're working, they're working. And DeAndre Swift was
agree.
A menace, and Khalif Raymond had a huge play on a perfectly timed, and that's to me, why my takeaway is I hated the coaching at the end of the game, but I loved the coaching in the game because they made adjustments. They realized when the Ravens are sending all these blitz, and maybe you should have come in knowing that they were going to do that, they found ways to counter it in the short passing game. And it worked, and it was running, and it was working, and then they ran the ball.
Okay, but I accept all that, but what are we talking about that strategy about you need a first down to put away that game in one of those final 2 drives? Jared Goff, clearly they don't trust Jared Goff to try to convert that for them.
You can't.
So like what can I really do here? Yeah, like
okay, but
that's a limitation of Jared Goff.
Right, and that's why the Rams traded him.
But I'm just saying, like, for any evaluation of Jared Goff, I'm sorry, like, you need to be like, you don't even need to be that great to at least be able to convert something like that.
This is an emerging trend. Jared Goff cannot play a complete game of football if it's up to him.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is who Jared Goff is. Like, Jared Goff in the first half, there were opportunities where they ran play action and he was running for his life. There were opportunities where they gave him the opportunity to step back and throw a ball deep. He was locked in on one read. He had Darren Fells wide open across the middle of the field. But he's locked in on that outside receiver because he's got one-on-one coverage. He's going to throw it to him. You know why? Because he's been seeing pressure all game long. And I think this goes to Jeremy's point. I think the offensive line maybe didn't have their best game of the season because that Ravens defense did everything they freaking could to throw every exotic-looking front, every kind of different-looking blitz with twists and stunts and all the good stuff. And this is a young offensive line. Your left side is Jonah Jackson and Penei Sewell. Like, you're talking about a 20-year-old kid and a guy who's in his second year in the NFL.
He's a damn good 20-year-old kid, though.
You're talking about Matt Nelson, who's over on the right tackle, who's still learning how to play the position. So I think as far as the Lions' ability to do things on offense, Jared Goff is an extension of the coaching staff. So I think in the second half, right, they realize, okay, the dump offs are working. Let's just get it to the guys who can make plays happen.
Yep.
And then let's see them make plays. DeAndre Swift made plays.
Yep.
That guy needs the ball a lot more. Dan Campbell talked about it leading up to this game. Guess what? He needs it even more. He needs it more than he's getting right now. Okay?
Can I ask
I was going to say the other thing, TJ Hawkinson, almost a ghost in this game.
Yep.
Only a couple of catches, 10 yards. Like, I need more TJ Hawkinson.
Sure. Would you say, I don't want to ask you, Ryan, on this because I know you carried a lot of it. Is Khalif Raymond going to be able to make those plays for you? Or is that kind of a week to week? Quintez Cephas also very quiet in this game.
Receiver, that's the other part of the equation here is Goff does not trust his receivers. And
Except for Khalif Raymond for some reason.
Well, because Khalif Raymond is a weapon with the ball in his hands. He's a speedy guy that gets a bunch of yak. That's what it was in this game. He had a bunch of yak. Yeah, so quick passes to those guys. So is it the coaching? Is it Jared Goff? Is it the receivers? The answer is all of it, right? Like, the receivers probably aren't getting too far wide open. The shots that Goff did take downfield, no one seemed particularly open. I was glad to see him finally throw a couple in this game, but no one was open. They got a pass interference call on one of them, and the other one could have also potentially resulted in a pass interference penalty. But, like, Amon-Ra St. Brown, like, where's that guy? Where's the trust there? He's a guy that's also should be like a short yardage phenom, but they haven't gotten him involved. Daryl Hodge, like, is that your number 2 today? Like, what?
He made a great play. He made a great play in punt coverage.
Great.
No, that's the point, though, right?
Yeah. It's just like nothing. This offense is one-dimensional in the one-dimensional way you don't want to be one-dimensional. Like, if teams are pass happy, you can make that work. Because passing is how you gain a ton of yards in this league. If you got good protection, you can make it work. But if you can only run the ball some of the time, like, what do you do when you're inside the 2-minute warning and you need a first down? Do you just try to run your head into the wall 3 times? Well, didn't work out that time. I really wanted to play action on second down because that's when you're least expecting it. Everyone is expecting it on third down. But anyways, I got way off topic. Basically, my assessment of the offense, obviously it was horrible in the first half. I felt like I was watching Michigan's offense in the second half from yesterday.
Don't bring that into my podcast.
Way too many mistakes on third down. The fourth down things with the offsides was ridiculous, and like there was just no rhythm to what they were trying to do. And then you want to spin it positively. They changed their approach in the second half, and it works a hell of a lot better. Like, did they punt in the second half? I feel like they barely punt. No, they didn't. Touchdown, field goal. 3 possessions.
Which is probably good because a very rare Jack Fox shank in this game.
True.
Which kind of had me scared.
But he pinned them inside the 5 as well.
So. He did. Again, thanks to Kadero Hodge on that, too. So
I think that's what kills me, though. Is like your 3 offensive drives were touchdown, field goal, and the only reason it was a field goal is because you let it be a field goal.
That field goal off an interception too. You got gifted that too. And that drive starts so favorable for you.
Gifted it, but you also forced the interception with
No,
pressure.
I mean the pressure. The defense gifted that to the offense.
Yes,
that's what I'm saying. A gift for us is what happened at halftime, and we're gonna wrap up the show talking about this. A tale of boos, a tale of cheers, a tale that just won't seem to go away, and other notes that we have from the game. As we wrap up the Pride of Detroit POD cast.
Ryan, you son of a bitch.
What did he do?
Well, we almost got through an entire podcast without talking about the show, but I feel it has to happen now.
Somebody tweeted it at me. It's not my fault.
Here's your newest, latest Halloween costume.
Look at what it says it includes.
Includes too much fucking shit on me. Oh no. Thank you to Lil Moana. Moa. You might even be in the chat. Mawa.
Yeah,
Caution, the chin kills.
I just saw that. That's good.
I think you should leave.
Do you know what?
Still on Netflix.
My Xbox got here at halftime, and I still haven't opened it yet.
That's fantastic.
Good for you. I'm proud of you.
I don't think I'm gonna open it until after the wedding that Jeremy isn't coming to.
Wow. Calling me out.
Come here, bud. Come here. That requested. Come here.
Thought Vindicators rode together and died together. I don't know.
It's Chad.
Ruby's not budging.
4 hours away.
It's 4 miles away.
It's 4 hours away, and I have to go to a home Lions game the next morning.
Eric's here.
Eric's here? Where's Eric?
No, I just mean like
He's
Eric
available.
is on. Oh. He's available to cover the game.
Come here.
Yeah, whatever.
Hold on. We got a
But I think what needs to be said is that the Lions are playing the Who that week.
I don't know. Who are they playing? Oh,
Jeremy couldn't miss a Vikings game.
God. You mean the second place 1 and 2 Minnesota Vikings? No.
Oh, no. Come on, buddy.
God, you're disgusting.
Keep your eyes on the tree.
I can't believe you're calling me out for this. After behind the scenes, you're like, no, dude, I totally get it.
No, he's totally fine. I totally get the work grind. But I can also poke fun at you.
Kyle, you do not get to yell at me today. Do we do it, chat? Like, I'm starting to get an itchy finger over here.
No. I already had to deal with someone getting mad at something me and Ryan said in the post game, so here, Ruby.
I think what needs to happen with Kyle is that he needs to gift 25 subs or he gets banned.
Yeah, you're getting that Baltimore Ravens money. What are you doing?
Ravens.com money. It's not like some
Seriously.
piece of paper that's getting printed. You got digital money.
I get paid for 1 article a week. I bet it's more than I'm getting paid.
I don't get paid for my article a week. Jeremy doesn't pay me for my shit.
Zazu, you want to come here?
I am so fucking tired, but I really want to stream this week again.
You want to come here? You've been requested. If you want to come here, you can. If not, I can tell Kyle to fuck off. No, he put his head down.
Yeah,
All right, sorry.
He wants to come in for the break, he says.
Absolutely not. Nope.
This is a safe space.
Nope.
Yeah, no, hold on. Especially Kyle of all people, like a guy who like writes a kicker annual article.
Has a raging hard on for special teams. Absolutely not. I'm surprised. You're lucky you were on the podcast. All right.
You know what? Jeremy's going to be pretty excited because one of my big stock downs is the special teams.
Mm-hmm.
How could it not be?
Jack Fox shanks a punt, man.
All right.
That's what I'm saying.
I still can't believe that it was. Is Justin Rogers right? Is 35 yards a career long for Ryan Santoso in the NFL?
And he used to be a punter. Probably. He's probably kicked like 2 field goals in his career.
I thought he's kicked more than that. I remember seeing him on waiver wires a while back.
Well, why do you think he was on waiver wires?
No, but I mean, he was with teams before that.
All right, chat, it's in your hands. Let Kyle in, Paul. What the fuck is wrong with you guys? 75% say yes? What are you guys doing?
It's embarrassing, y'all.
No, I know Tucker missed as well. I know Tucker missed too. I know it all too well because in case you are late to the party here, Ryan loses out on a $50 free play because he insisted on betting that Tucker wasn't going to miss at all this season.
Ryan Santoso kicked 2 field goals for the Titans, 2 field goals for the Panthers, and now 1 for the Lions.
I remember him with the Panthers. Yeah.
All that was this year. Week 1, 2 for 2. Week 2, 2 for 2 with the Panthers, except he missed an extra point, I think. And then, those were 29-yard field goals and less. So
I don't know.
Chat, you have disappointed me more than the Detroit Lions did today. You disappointed me more than the refs did today.
Hold on. Is this to allow Kyle in the room?
Yeah.
Yes.
No, we're not doing it right now. He can come on after the show. He can fill my spot because I need to get a chicken finger pita.
I have a solution. What's up, Kyle? All right, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, see you, Kyle.
Wait, how do I get him out? Why isn't he dragging out? Damn it.
Boot him. Boot him.
There we go. All right, cool.
There we go.
That was fun.
We did it.
That was fun. You know, we listened to chat. Great job.
Hey, don't
Thanks
doubt.
again.
This is a democracy.
That's Kyle P. Barber on Twitter. That just a great performance on the podcast tonight. Thanks for joining us, Kyle.
I'll bring him in once we finish the actual POD cast. I want to talk to him a little bit.
What hard hitting analysis he brought to the table.
Yeah, I mean, and you know, I thought the racism was uncalled for.
What racism is that? Wow. Yeah, you're right. You know what? I can't believe that Kyle thinks that Chris Pratt deserves to play Mario. I'm just saying, like, it is legitimately racism against Italians to not use an Italian, or according to the old ancient agreement, at least use a Jew. You don't use either. Chris Pratt is neither. He's a gentile.
Word does not sound good coming out of your mouth. Let me just say that.
What word doesn't sound?
Never
Gentile?
mind. Sure.
It's an ancient agreement, Jeremy.
We are going to the third segment.
Oh, my God.
Listen, Seth Rogen is like Donkey Kong. I'm sorry. We have to talk about this cast.
Do we have to talk about this?
It's a Mario movie. Who gives a shit? Mario's not even a real person. Is he actually Italian? He was created by Japanese people.
Yes, he was Italian. His name was Mario.
But a Japanese.
His brother is Luigi Mario.
Created by a Japanese creator.
Yeah, they can love Italians.
Do you think he did some research on Italian culture?
Yes.
Is Mario a deep Italian character that has deep, rich? No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Everyone needs to shut the fuck up and calm down.
His name is Mario.
This is almost as bad as people.
Miyamoto is a lot. Miyamoto, like people who made it, was a weeb about. But if weeb was about Italian, I don't know what it's supposed to. What is that? What is an Italian weeb called?
Okay, but you can have zero problems with Jack Black playing Bowser.
I don't think that fits at all.
He was born for that role. How dare you?
I thought he was born to play Wario. Have you seen his beard?
Isn't that wait?
No,
what is it about?
Wario. No. You put your top tier actors in the villain role.
Charlie Day is Luigi. You want to cape up for that now?
Oh my god. I hope they eat ragu in the movie, Chris. I hope they eat ragu and they get plastered in an Olive Garden.
There's just a scene where he puts his arm around Luigi and says, "Here we're family."
Did it have to be
and
Chris
he orders pini pasta.
And he calls it Naki.
Jesus. Wow. Now I'm about to kill this stream. I'm about to bring Kyle back in and just be like, fuck all y'all.
Who, by the way, is still in the waiting room. Just know how long
Yeah,
Kyle's
he's back.
been in the
He's
waiting
back.
room in Discord. No, he's been in there for like the majority of our show.
Kyle, write some articles, all right? Go dance on the Chiefs' grave again or something.
Yeah, go cut another promo on the Chiefs. Kyle, shouldn't your football team have like Super Bowl aspirations? What are they doing barely beating the Detroit Lions?
It's a valid question.
All right. I'm ready to get back into this.
Yeah, same.
Me
I
too.
would kind of like to watch some Sunday Night Football, and I also have a lot more to write. So, unlike apparently Kyle, who's just like, oh, you know, I just write for BaltimoreRavens.com once, and then the rest of the time I spend trolling the opposing fan bases and writing my dissertation on how Justin Tucker is the best kicker of all time.
Jesus Christ. I can't deal with this, folks. I'm going to become the Joker.
Do it. Better
Joker
not
is
have
fine.
someone that's not a certified
Whoa,
clown
what
play
are you
him.
trying to get at?
He has to be a clown to play him.
A clown isn't an ethnicity, Jeremy. So like, let's try a little harder.
Mario has no ethnicity.
Yes, he does.
Italians just claimed him because he had a mustache.
Have you not heard this man speak before?
Nope.
There's an Italian accent.
Hold on. He has an Italian accent on like the later games. There was no Mario saying anything in Nintendo days.
There was the old '90s cartoon. He was definitely Italian in that. There was the movie. Italian.
One of my favorite, I'll just say it because it was a reposted TikTok on Instagram, but it was on Instagram Reels. But one of my favorite TikToks is this guy who's like, my door sounds like Yoshi. And he like opens the door and he goes, "Hey, I'm the green lizard."
Oh yeah, I saw
Mario."
Which one do you want, Darth? The one that has mozzarella sticks or the I'm here for the mozzarella sticks, you son of a bitch?
Make him wear it as a onesie. Tell him he's got to take his pants off too.
Whoa. No.
Jesus
I'm
Christ.
not wearing both unless I get two redemptions.
Wow, that's his selling point.
Yeah, no, sorry. No pants is not part of any channel point redemption, so
Okay.
no.
Okay, well.
Tell him to wear it like a dress.
Bastards. You bastards. I'm wearing pants, chat.
No
Not
pants.
Wacko
No
Warner.
pants. No pants. No pants.
Kyle,
Jesus Christ, Kyle.
tread lightly. Tread lightly, my friend.
I'm just doing a no pants chant because it's also Jeremy's hero, Pee Wee Herman.
What is?
Wait, what?
Are you making references to what I think you are?
Yes.
All right, let's get into segment 3. Yeah, Ruby's at his drinking hole. 'Hole. 'He's waiting for me to get him dinner. 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 'He's waiting for me to get him din And wrapping up the Pride of Detroit POD cast with boy. It's this again, huh? This is excuse me while I kind of look over our totally real rundown here, and yep, it's written right. Talk about what happened at halftime. Okay. So for those who didn't see halftime, Calvin Johnson, given his Hall of Fame ceremony there, his number and all the rest, cheered very loudly, which is fantastic. Then up comes Sheila Ford Hamp, and that stadium was the loudest it will be right up until that fourth quarter where they got loud for the Lions to try to get that defensive stop. Ryan, I want to go to you on this because we have some fairly nuanced ideas on booing and the ownership, because once again, it kind of sends everything spiraling, and we'll talk about the Calvin Johnson angle for it. But just on the subject of booing an owner, I have no problems in an ether booing a billionaire. In fact, I think they should be booed every day of their lives because that kind of wealth is obscene. So we'll just, I want to throw that to you there.
Yeah. Here's my overarching point. As a fan, you buy a ticket and that gives you the right to go into the game. However, just because you bought the ticket and you have the right to go into the game doesn't mean every way you voice your opinion is going to be correct. With that being said, I think that every Lions fan was well within their rights to do what they did at halftime. And I say that from a couple of standpoints. One, and we talked about this, Chris, in the postgame, go to Calvin Johnson's likes on Twitter and look at the things that he liked before the game.
Very, very interesting what he's liking before the game. Why don't you fill in the audience of what he was liking before the game?
Let's say that he was liking things from, I don't know, people with like the gruffy Spartan logo as their Twitter icon, saying things like, pay the damn man his money. Calvin Johnson did everything he can to diffuse that situation, and kudos to Calvin Johnson for doing that. That was a prime thing for him to do. Like, that was an upstanding thing for him to do. Sheila Ford Hamp, you have to know you're going into the Lions' den. No pun intended. Like,
No,
you have to realize everything that has come before you. And you have to realize the situation that the people before you put the people in positions of power to make decisions that they made with Calvin Johnson have a lasting impact. Like when he comes to show up at the halftime of an NFL football game when just 3 months ago he wasn't willing to talk about your organization at all during his Hall of Fame speech. The fans were within their rights to boo when they booed. I can't be moved off this, but I would love to hear Jeremy's thoughts on it.
Well, I think my first thought is the Lions don't get a chance to boo ownership very often.
Yeah,
and
they never show up.
I don't blame them one bit for doing it when they had the opportunity.
And by the way, they're not alone. John Mara showed up at the Giants game and everyone rained boos down on him.
Right. I mean, I literally can't remember the last time a Lions owner spoke in front of fans. And so, yeah, this probably is just a lingering thing that has been bubbling and bubbling and bubbling, and Lions fans finally got the opportunity, and it spread like wildfire across Ford Field. And I get it. Was anything accomplished by booing it? By booing? Probably not. I mean, you're booing someone who had nothing to do with the fact that Calvin Johnson had his money taken from him back in 2017. Wasn't her fault. It was certainly her predecessor's fault. And I don't think it's particularly her fault that it hasn't been resolved at this point, because the Lions are in a really tough position now. They can't repay Calvin Johnson's money in any sort of reasonable, easy way like Calvin Johnson wants. And Calvin Johnson's being a little bit unreasonable, but he's also pissed. And he's He's allowed to be pissed about a mistake that was made 4 years ago. He just is. Like, I'm sorry. Like, it's a serious mistake the organization made. He's still pissed at him. Rod Wood wasn't anywhere near on that field, and I don't think that was a coincidence.
Yeah, that was kind of weird that he didn't show up.
I also think it's more than just the Calvin Johnson thing. It's just, once again, like the meme of the Fords sell the team and all the bad decisions. That's still there
100%.
Underneath all of it too. That is never going to go away. That is never going to go away. And yeah, I think it is somewhat unfair to lump that on Sheila Ford Hamp, especially when the team still, flaunts around William Clay Ford patches and honors the man who probably did a lot of terrible decisions on the Lions. Like, and I get it. You should. He's dead. You shouldn't speak ill of dead. But that's the reality of it. I agree, though, with Ryan in that in this particular case, when it comes to Ford versus Johnson, nobody's a damn winner here.
Yep. Like,
on one hand, I understand Calvin Johnson completely, because he shouldn't have had his money taken away. And it is a bit egregious and it is a bit of a slap in the face from his perspective to be asked to do more work for something that you already didn't do the work. I mean, that you didn't need to do the work to begin with for it. That it's suddenly now a prerequisite.
Yeah. So, Chris, you're aligning yourself with the proletariat. Nothing is shocking about this take.
Yeah,
so
I
far.
know. Right. Well, just hold on. But at the same time, I at least sympathize with the Fords that they seem to have their hands tied. They can't do anything about it. I mean, certainly they can't go and say, hey, we can just cut you a check from the Ford Motor Company, because Sheila Ford Hamp doesn't have control of the Ford bleeping Motor Company.
Not to mention,
can't really do that
here, and it's also skirting the cap. Like, that's the
Right,
main
that's
issue, is that
cap.
everyone
Because
feels
there's
like you're
so
skirting
many-
the cap, because you can't just hand money to someone that you took money away from trying to take away cap space. You can't just slide that underneath the table,
Right, but
because that opens up a terrible can of worms, which complicates this whole thing.
I also think besides that, he is our good friend Calvin Johnson. It's no longer about the money to him. It is about sending a message, as Heath Ledger says. It's about sending a message. He's pissed off at the organization, and he will keep getting to hold that grudge until he feels like letting it go. And I can respect that power. I can also call him a dick for that power too. It's a dick move.
Yeah.
Some dick moves can be very, very liberating. I love when I get to pull off a dick move, because it feels liberating, because Calvin Johnson has that power and gets to use it in a dickish way. This is why I say, when it ultimately boils down to it, after I've balanced everything, I'm just going to default to booing the billionaire.
I was going to say that we should elevate this concern to the NFL level. And this isn't me making a joke out of it, but I think the Lions should be able to go back to the NFL, and they should be able to say, look, we had people who were in position, Rod Wood, who had never been in football before. They made some poor decisions when it came to cap, management and payroll. We need to make things right with Calvin Johnson. How can we do that? Have Calvin Johnson be a part of that discussion. Like, that needs to be a three-way discussion.
Yeah.
Like, that can't be something, because I agree. Like, I think everybody's hands are tied. Like, Calvin Johnson should not do any more work to make the money back that should have been given to him in the first place. The Lions, what are they supposed to do? They can't do anything other than try to get him to do work so that they can cut him a check. Like, the NFL is at fault here. The NFL is at fault with everything. Jeremy, I can get you on board right now. Ready? Do you subscribe to All 22 Coaches Film anymore?
Okay. Well, I
Here's
do.
the thing.
You know why? Because
Boo
I paid
NFL.
for it. Because I paid for it, and
NFL.
they won't let me refund it. I emailed them. They said no.
Here's where I think where Ryan's right, in that if this situation was happening with the Cowboys, they'd probably be changing the rule right away.
No,
because
that
Jerry
goes
Jones.
to all the-
No. See,
I don't know.
because
That
he's
goes-
the
you're
shadow
doing-
commissioner.
You're doing the same thing that all these people are complaining about with the
The shadow
penalty.
commissioner.
Oh,
No,
the
no,
Lions
because Jerry
are,
Jones is the shadow
are
commissioner.
especially picked on. No. If
No, I'm saying
they're
that
not
Jerry
going to make
Jones
a
is
loophole
special.
for the thing that having that three-way conversation is going to help with is Calvin Johnson hearing from the NFL. I'm sorry, this is the only way that they can give you this money is by having you work, and maybe
That's
you blow
bogus.
off the work. But
He'll blow off the work. He doesn't.
Like, I mean, you are circumventing the salary cap, and
no,
that is a loophole that you do not want to open because Bill Belichick will rip it open like it's the fucking, what's the name of the butthole thing? Whatever.
Goatsy?
He will goatsy that
Don't
loophole.
ask me how I know that. Ryan's done, I think. Jesus Christ. What the fuck is this podcast?
But here, I do have one more
What
point.
is this thing?
I do have one more point that I want to make on here. And it's again a little bit of cluelessness from ownership, right? Like they didn't see this coming. Sheila Ford Hamp thought it would be a good idea to take 90 seconds and introduce Calvin Johnson. And maybe it was right for her not to expect that because maybe she thought, I'm not my predecessors. I'm not William Clayford. I'm not Bill Clayford. I'm not even Sheila Ford Hamp. I'm my own person. They're not going to boo me. But that whole thing was the guy from the Pro Football Hall of Fame talking for 3 minutes, Sheila Ford Hamp trying for 90 seconds to talk, no one being able to hear her, and then Calvin Johnson talks for 30 seconds. We want to hear from Calvin! Everyone was cheering Calvin. Shut the hell up and put Calvin up there.
This is basically like the Lions equivalent. We say it all the time when an owner touches the trophy first. Like that's just the attitude where things have gone. Like we don't want to hear from the owners at all.
No. Like, and I know she was probably like, this was her olive branch. This was her chance to make things right and say something really nice to the public about.
Yeah, no, look, she's standing there with Calvin Johnson. They're playing nice.
The guy that's cheering, that everyone is cheering, is right next to you. Put him in front of the podium.
And this is why I say you should boo billionaires because this was a terrible idea from the get-go.
It was.
They always have bad ideas, Jeremy.
Yep.
Always.
And she I mean, that's it. Like, she's not talking publicly again, right? Like, she'll talk to them. She might talk to us. She is not stepping in front of a mic on Ford Field ever again, I don't think.
Dude, like, these fans have been baying for the Ford family to get out of town for, like, 30 plus years now. Like, I know that's not on her. As I said, a lot of that's on William Clay Ford III. But honest, like, the sins of the father, etc., etc. Like, there is a whole group of fans who are not going to hear reason, rational thought on this or anything. Nope. I've tried engaging with them for years. It doesn't matter. Anything you say to them about how the next kind of, like, it won't change anything on ownership or this and this wasn't an ownership fault or something. It doesn't matter. It is irrational. I can respect irrational. I also find it just banal sometimes, especially in this one. Anyway,
I will say really quick that I was surprised because I think this is proof again that Twitter is not real life because it feels like Lions fans are split 50-50 on the Calvin Johnson ownership thing, right? For a while, especially now that the ownership is actually trying. It felt like it was a 50-50 split. Like some people were like, Calvin's being an asshole, just accept what it is and
oh yeah, the fan base is turned on Calvin. But the fan base is turned on Calvin because I think for most normal people, you tell them, hey, 28 hours, you make, you'll get a couple million over the course of a couple years. You give us 28 hours across those years. They would say, great, sign me the bleep up. The problem is Calvin Johnson is not one of those people because he's got a lot more money than that. And as I said, this seems a lot more about sending a message than getting a little extra money because you're desperate to put that away in your 401k.
But my overall point is that is not what was represented on Ford Field.
Mm-hmm.
Lions fans were unanimous in their praise of Calvin Johnson and unanimous in saying fuck you to ownership, which is crazy to me given how much we've squabbled over this thing for the past 4 years of saying who's wrong, who's right. Calvin needs to stop being such a diva. Ownership needs to stop being such cheap bastards. Everyone is in the same camp on Sunday. They were saying, fuck you, ownership. Calvin Johnson, you're a legend. We love you. It's crazy.
Yeah. Final notes here before we get out of here. Now that we've burned all that out. Are you guys looking forward to the Bears?
Yeah.
Yes.
They suck.
I said I don't I don't think I said it on the podcast, but it's not hyperbole when I say that this is the one of the most excited times I've had being a quote unquote Lions fan in the past 5 years. Like I mean going back to the 2016 season. Like this is one of the most excited I've been looking forward to a divisional game against a team that seems like it is in a similar situation when it comes to being down in the dumps. And this coaching staff has an opportunity to prove itself, like in every sense. And I'm really looking forward to see how this team responds from such an emotional loss.
Yeah. I think the Bears offense will probably bounce back a little bit because I still think the Lions defense needs a lot of work, but they're down in the dumps right now. That's for sure. That team looks like a mess. Khalil Mack might not be in that game. I know he got injured at some point in this game. I don't know if he came back or not, but we don't know who the quarterback is going to be. Justin Fields did not look great today, getting sacked 9 times, and I don't think Bears fans are any more excited about Andy Dalton. So, yeah,
I will say this is that we talked about the front seven here a little bit, getting that pressure on Lamar Jackson. The Bears' offensive line should be as, if not more, vulnerable to that kind of pressure.
Yeah.
So I hope to see a lot more Julian Okwara. I think that's it. Let's get out of here. This has been a very bizarre POD cast. There's been references to unmentionable things, accusations during the break of racism, and involving Italians. Don't worry, it's not actual racism. There's been yelling. There's been fighting. Our friend Kyle from Baltimore B-Town keeps trying to invade our recording booth. Right now, he's waiting for us to get out of here. So let's just put this whole cursed game, cursed by a Tucker field goal that shouldn't have gone in. Let's put this all to bed.
We decided we're Antichrist field goal. Let's not say his name.
Antichrist field goal.
Yeah.
Hail Satan. Yeah. All right.
Jeremy likes to call him Justin Cucker.
Wow. Okay. See you Starside, folks. Bye.